It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Seneca. What if I told you that being a nice guy isn't actually the secret to winning respect and attraction from women? In fact, it might be doing you more harm than good. We've all been taught that kindness and agreeing with everything is the way to a woman's heart. But what if the real power lies in something deeper, quieter, and far more commanding? What if embodying Stoic principles, calmness, self-control, and unshakable confidence is what truly earns her respect? In today's video, we're diving into the brutal truth about why women respect Stoic men more than nice guys. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about mastering yourself and your emotions, standing firm even when the world tests you, and becoming the kind of man who naturally commands respect without begging for it. Stick around until the very end, because these insights could completely change the way you approach relationships and self-worth. And trust me, you don't want to miss a single second of it. Ready to unlock the mindset that sets Stoic men apart? Let's get started. Number 1. Stoic men maintain emotional control and confidence. Here's the brutal truth you need to hear. Women respect Stoic men more than nice guys because Stoic men bring something rare and powerful to the table: emotional control and unwavering confidence. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about owning your inner world so fully that you don't get tossed around by every little wave of emotion or external circumstance. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to stand firm no matter what chaos is swirling around you, to remain calm when others lose their heads. That's the kind of strength that draws respect, not just from women but from everyone around you. Said it best: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This isn't just a feel-good idea, it's a call to action. You have the power to control your emotions, and with that, you can radiate confidence that isn't fake or forced but real and magnetic. So what does it mean to maintain emotional control? It means you stop being a slave to every frustration, every insult, every slight that comes your way. It means when someone throws a curveball, you don't snap or crumble. You respond with calmness and clarity. You see, most nice guys are reactive. They're constantly trying to please, get approval, or avoid conflict because they fear rejection or discomfort. That desperation is obvious. It seeps through their words and actions, making them less attractive. You're different. You know that true confidence isn't about being loud or always agreeing. It's about holding your ground without arrogance or defensiveness. It's a quiet power that says, "I know who I am. I am not shaken easily." That confidence creates a magnetic field around you. Women pick up on it instinctively. Here's a practical step to start cultivating this in yourself today. Practice what the Stoics call the pause. When you feel a strong emotional reaction, anger, jealousy, insecurity, don't dive right into it. Stop. Take a breath, count to 5, ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it helpful? What's the bigger picture? This moment of pause gives you the space to choose your response rather than be controlled by your impulses. It's not easy at first. Your mind will want to jump back into reactive mode. But keep practicing. Over time, this habit rewires your brain. You'll notice a shift where you respond calmly in situations that would have triggered you before. This calmness breeds confidence because you realize you're not at the mercy of your feelings. You are the master of them. Confidence rooted in emotional control isn't about pretending you're perfect or never feeling doubt. Even the greatest Stoics wrestled with their thoughts and fears. What matters is how you handle those moments. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means when you stumble, don't beat yourself up. Instead, examine what you learned. Adjust. Keep moving forward. This mindset of progress over perfection is what separates Stoic men from nice guys. You're not chasing validation. You're building self-respect. And guess what? Self-respect is infinitely more attractive than trying to be liked by everyone. Another practical exercise is journaling. Spend a few minutes each day writing down your emotional triggers and how you handled them. Be honest. Did you react impulsively? Did you stay calm? Reflecting like this trains your mind to spot patterns and gives you a roadmap to improve. Plus, it's a powerful way to remind yourself that you're actively working on becoming the kind of man who doesn't crumble under pressure. Here's the challenge for you. Start seeing every emotional test as an opportunity to grow your stoic strength. The moment you feel those familiar urges to panic, get defensive, or seek approval, stop. Breathe. Reflect. Choose your response. This isn't just about getting women to respect you, it's about reclaiming your own power and peace of mind. When you master this, respect naturally follows. You become the man who doesn't just talk about confidence but lives it quietly and powerfully every single day. Remember, as said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacles you face, the emotional triggers, the moments when you feel like falling apart, they're not your enemies. They're the very tools you need to build real confidence and emotional control. You have everything you need inside you. Now it's time to take action. Start today, be stoic, be strong, and watch how respect flows your way effortlessly. Number 2, they focus on self-improvement rather than seeking approval. Here's the thing you need to grasp deeply. Women don't respect men simply because they're nice. That label "nice guy" often comes loaded with desperate attempts to win approval, to be liked, to avoid conflict at all costs. It's exhausting, and more importantly, it's unappealing because it signals a lack of inner strength. Now contrast that with the stoic man, the one who is locked in on self-improvement and mastery over himself. The difference isn't subtle, it's fundamental. When you shift your focus from seeking external validation to hunting your own character, everything changes. Your energy shifts, your presence deepens, and women respect that on a level that no amount of being nice can ever touch. You have to understand, seeking approval is like chasing a mirage. It never truly satisfies, and it always leaves you vulnerable. It's a mindset rooted in scarcity, the fear that if you're not constantly pleasing, you'll be rejected or abandoned. But here, what Stoicism teaches, your worth is not up for negotiation. Reminded himself daily, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. That means your actions aren't dictated by others' expectations, but by your own principles. When you focus on improving yourself, your discipline, your mindset, your habits, you become a man who stands on his own foundation. This is magnetic. It radiates a quiet confidence because it's built on something real, not a facade crafted to please. So how do you put this into practice? Start by identifying one area of your life that you want to improve, not because it will get you approval, but because it will make you stronger. It could be your physical fitness, your emotional resilience, your ability to manage stress, or even your communication skills. Whatever it is, commit to working on it every day, even if only a little. Don't do it for anyone else's approval. Do it for yourself. Create a daily ritual that reminds you why you're doing this. Maybe you write down a personal mantra in the morning or reflect on a Stoic quote before bed. The goal here is to anchor your growth in your own values. Another practical move is to practice detachment from outcomes. When you're focused on self-improvement, you'll naturally face setbacks or moments when progress feels slow. That's part of the journey. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You have the power to control your attitude. When you stop measuring your worth by others, reactions, or external rewards, you free yourself to keep pushing forward regardless. This freedom from the need for approval is deeply attractive. It means you're not needy, not desperate. You're a man who knows his own path and walks it steadily. A key exercise here is journaling. Each evening, reflect on your day with these questions. Did I focus on my own growth today? Did I act in alignment with my values? Did I resist the urge to seek validation from others? Writing this down not only keeps you accountable but also rewires your brain to prioritize self-respect over external praise. Over time, you'll notice your mindset shifting. Your motivation will come from within, and that inner fire is irresistible. You might wonder why women respond more to this kind of man. The answer lies in authenticity and strength. Women respect men who are anchored, who don't bend to every whim or mood because they are secure in themselves. When you chase approval, you're basically telling the world you don't trust your own values, and that's a shaky foundation for any relationship. But when you're committed to growth for its own sake, you send a clear message. You're reliable, resilient, and real. And that's power. That's an attraction. So take this moment to challenge your habits. Stop measuring your worth by likes, compliments, or approval. Start measuring it by how well you live your values, how consistently you show up for yourself, and how much you grow daily. The Stoics understood this centuries ago, and it's as relevant now as ever. Do you want respect? Earn it from yourself first. Become a man who is obsessed with self-improvement, not validation. When you do, the respect and desire you seek won't just appear. They'll become an inevitable side effect of the man you've become. Number 3, Stoics embrace challenges without complaining. You want to understand why women respect Stoic men far more than the so-called nice guys. And one of the biggest reasons boils down to how Stoics face challenges, without whining, complaining, or acting like life is unfair. It's not just about enduring hardship. It's about embracing it, owning it, and showing strength through it. Complaining is easy, right? It's the default reaction when things don't go your way. But when you complain, you're basically telling the world that you're a victim of circumstances beyond your control. That's not attractive. Women sense that weakness immediately because complaining is a form of giving up before the battle even starts. Stoics don't do that. Said it plainly, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This means every obstacle is an opportunity, not a reason to groan or throw in the towel. When you embody this mindset, you radiate power and calm, and that's magnetic. Now here, where it gets practical for you. The next time you hit a snag, a difficulty, or anything that might make you want to grumble or vent, pause. Instead of complaining, shift your perspective. Ask yourself, what is this challenge trying to teach me? How can I grow stronger because of it? This mental pivot isn't easy at first. No one is born thinking like a Stoic. But it's a muscle you can develop just like any other. Try a simple daily habit. When something annoying or tough happens, write down how you can view it as a stepping stone instead of a stumbling block. Doing this repeatedly rewires your brain to look for growth, not excuses. Women don't just respect the guy who faces trouble, they respect the one who doesn't make a scene about it. Stoics hold their composure because they've trained themselves to accept reality without resistance. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic teachers, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That reaction, your response, is what sets you apart. When you meet life's curveballs with steady calm and no drama, you're demonstrating mastery over yourself and your emotions. And mastery is sexy. It signals that you're someone who won't crumble under pressure, someone who can be relied upon when times get tough. Here's a practical exercise for that. When you feel the urge to complain, instead take 3 slow, deliberate breaths. Use that moment to center yourself. Then speak or act with intention. Even if things suck, you can choose not to amplify the negativity by complaining. It's a powerful form of self-discipline that women instinctively admire because it means you're not a hostage to your feelings. You're the captain of your ship. You control the weather inside, even if the seas outside are stormy. It's also important to recognize that embracing challenges without complaining doesn't mean you suppress your feelings or pretend everything is perfect. The Stoics weren't about denial. They were about acknowledgement and action. Feel the frustration or disappointment, yes, but don't dwell there. Channel that energy into doing something constructive. Think of your obstacles as raw material to craft a stronger version of yourself. When you do this consistently, you become the kind of man who women respect deeply, not because you're perfect, but because you're real and resilient. So what's holding you back? Are you ready to step out of the victim mentality and start owning your challenges like a Stoic? Start small. Next time something tests your patience, don't complain. Instead, ask yourself how this moment can make you better. Practice breathing, reflecting, and responding intentionally. Also said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Your revenge against life's difficulties is to rise above complaining and become calm in the storm. When you make this shift, you don't just attract respect from women, you attract respect from yourself. That's the real power. Complaining is cheap, strength is earned. So build that strength, show up every day, and watch how your life and your relationships transform. This is not just advice. It's a call to action. The question is, will you answer it? Number 4, they set clear boundaries and respect themselves. You need to understand this. Women respect men who set clear boundaries and respect themselves far more than those who just try to be nice all the time. It's a brutal truth, but it's one worth facing if you want to step up your game and be someone who naturally commands respect. Being a Stoic man means you know where you stand, and you don't let others push you around or take advantage of your kindness. That's a completely different energy from the so-called nice guy who bends over backward, often losing himself in the process, hoping that pleasing everyone will earn him respect or affection. Spoiler, it won't. You want respect. You have to give it to yourself first. Here's the deal. You can't respect others if you don't respect your own time, energy, and values. Setting boundaries is your way of telling the world, and more importantly yourself, what's acceptable and what's not. It's like building a fence around your inner world to keep out what drains you and invite in what fuels your growth. The Stoics emphasized control over what's within your power. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." Your boundaries are part of that power. When you protect your mind, your peace, and your principles, you're practicing the art of self-respect. This sends a silent but loud message to everyone around you, including women. You're not just anyone's doormat, you're a man who knows his worth. Now I want you to start seeing boundaries not as walls, but as a framework for freedom. Boundaries don't shut people out. They create space for authentic connections. When you say no to something that doesn't align with your values or that drains your energy, you free yourself up to say yes to things that matter. This is not about being rigid or harsh. It's about being clear and consistent. Reminded us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When your thoughts and actions are consistent, you become a steady force that people respect. Not because you're controlling or unyielding, but because you're reliable and true to yourself. Here's a practical habit to develop. Every day, ask yourself, what are my non-negotiables? These are the things you won't compromise on no matter what. It could be how you expect to be treated, how you spend your time, or the values you live by. Write them down, reflect on them, then practice communicating them calmly and firmly. When you feel the impulse to agree to something just to avoid conflict or gain approval, pause and check in with your list. This tiny act builds massive self-respect over time. Remember, boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about controlling your own life. Also, realize that respect for yourself comes with the courage to face discomfort. Saying no isn't always easy. You might worry about disappointing others or missing out. That's normal, but growth happens outside your comfort zone. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Every time you hold your ground, you're training your mind to be stronger, more resilient, and more focused on what truly matters. This mental muscle is magnetic. Women sense when a man isn't afraid to stand up for himself. That confidence, rooted in respect and clear boundaries, is far more attractive than any superficial niceness. Let's not forget, boundaries help you avoid resentment too. When you constantly say yes to please others but sacrifice your own needs, resentment builds silently, eating away at your peace and relationships. But when you respect yourself enough to set limits, you preserve your energy and emotional balance. This balance translates into calmness and presence, qualities women deeply respect because they feel safe and valued around a man who is in control of himself. So here's your challenge: start small. Identify one area where you tend to give in or overextend yourself. It could be with friends, family, work, or dating. Practice saying no in a respectful, clear way. Notice how it feels. Notice how your energy shifts. Then repeat this in different situations. Over time, it becomes a habit and your self-respect skyrockets. The Stoics teach that true power is within you, not in others' approval. Live that truth daily. Stand firm. Respect yourself first and watch how respect follows naturally. Because when you do, you don't just get respect, you become a man worth respecting. Number 5. Stoic men exhibit genuine strength, not passive niceness. Listen, there's a world of difference between being a stoic man and just playing the part of the nice guy. Too many guys mistake being nice for being strong, but the truth: women respect genuine strength far more than passive, people-pleasing niceness. Niceness can feel weak, uncertain, or even desperate because it often stems from a place of needing approval. Stoic men, on the other hand, show a kind of strength that's quiet but unmistakable. It's rooted in control, self-awareness, and an unshakable inner foundation. Didn't say, "Be liked by everyone," he said. "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's the difference: action over empty words, substance over surface charm. You have to understand that being genuinely strong doesn't mean bulldozing everyone with ego or dominance. It means mastering yourself first. When you control your emotions, when you're steady even when the world throws curveballs, you become someone who naturally commands respect. Women sense that strength instinctively. It's not about grand gestures or telling people what you think they want to hear. It's about showing up with integrity, standing firm in your values, and not bending under pressure. That kind of strength is magnetic because it signals safety, reliability, and authenticity, qualities that run deeper than any superficial niceness. Here's the brutal truth: being nice for the sake of being liked often leads to being overlooked or taken for granted. When you avoid conflict or say yes to everything just to keep the peace, you lose yourself in the process. You become a shadow, not a man with a backbone. But Stoicism teaches you that real power comes from within, not from how much you please others. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If you want women to respect you, start by respecting yourself. That means setting boundaries, speaking your truth calmly, and not compromising your values just to avoid discomfort. You can start building this kind of strength today by practicing radical self-discipline. It's not about punishing yourself, but about training your mind to respond rather than react. Next time you feel triggered, whether it's irritation, anxiety, or the urge to seek approval, pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself that your worth doesn't depend on external validation. This is hard at first because it requires you to sit with discomfort instead of running from it. But every time you do, you reinforce your internal power. Over time, that power grows and you become a man who doesn't need to prove himself by being nice all the time. You simply are. Another practical move is to cultivate emotional resilience by reflecting daily on your responses. Ask yourself, where did I show strength today? Where did I cave to being overly agreeable? Write it down. This simple habit builds awareness and accountability. Journaled his thoughts every day, sharpening his mind like a sword. You can do the same. Awareness is your first step toward transformation. When you see where you fall short, you can correct course and step closer to the kind of genuine strength that commands respect without begging for it. Finally, remember that strength without kindness is cold, but kindness without strength is weak. The Stoic man blends both effortlessly. He is firm yet compassionate. He listens deeply but doesn't lose himself in others' emotions. You can practice this balance by tuning into your feelings and others without letting them control you. When someone challenges you or tests your limits, meet it with calmness and clear boundaries. This shows you care, but you're not a doormat. That's the sweet spot women are drawn to. A man who is both unshakable and approachable. So take this in. Stop confusing passive niceness with real strength. Build your inner fortress by mastering your mind, speaking your truth, and standing firm in your values. You don't have to shout or perform to be respected. Just be a man who owns himself fully, calmly, and courageously. Stoicism isn't about being cold. It's about being powerfully present and authentically strong. And that, above all, is what women respect. Now, go live it. So there you have it. The brutal truth about why women respect Stoic men more than the so-called nice guys. It's not about pretending to be cold or uncaring. It's about mastering yourself, staying grounded, and showing strength through calm confidence. If you've ever felt frustrated trying to win someone over by just being nice, this video just flipped the script for you. Remember, respect isn't given. It's earned through resilience, integrity, and emotional mastery. If you found this eye-opening, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe for more no-nonsense truths that will help you level up in life and relationships. Until next time, stay strong, stay steady, and keep mastering the art of being truly respected.